not at all agitated or disturbed. Durga Parameswari is in second Charitam is Mahalakshmi Swarupam. Mahalakshmi means embodiment of any and every positivity is called Mahalakshmi. So at the same time, the other things. So there is nothing. But Saraswati is a flow which is required in the next section. So in Rigveda Swarupam, in Ajurveda Swarupam, in Samveda Swarupam, she is present very much, fighting with the enemies. So when gods have lost their battle with Mahishasura, having fought for 100 years, they tried their best to put Mahishasura down. Then all the devas went to, including Brahmadeva, went to Shiva and Vishnu sitting in a meeting at the same place. Then these gods have expressed their grief, their defeat, the torture that is being done by Mahishasura, which they could not stop. Then they requested both the Paramatmas or both the Paramatma, Krishna, I mean that Vishnu and Shiva. Shiva is Laya, Vishnu is maintenance. But so when they heard this kind of grief report, appeal by the gods, immediately they became highly angry. And that Kopa Agni turned into a woman. And then all gods empowered her with their weapon power and also with their Mahima, so that she was made as an invincible warrior with all the power given by the gods, because gods have got, they are no use to fight with Mahishasura. He is beyond the God, Deva Shakti, all gods. So, Sri Shakti, Ammavar Prayojanam important. So, she came, and in order to call her readiness for the war, she made a nada. And the nada, or the sound that she produced, was simply terrifying, a kind of sound which even Mahishasura and all asuras never heard at all. Such was the terrible sound, that's Yuddha Dhwani. Then Mahishasura, to find out what is that source, where from the sound is coming, and he came ready with his army. If at all necessary, he would be able to declare a battle and war and see that Amma, that whoever is there who did it, want to kill them. So the Mahishasura's mind was to kill Durga Parameswari, to kill all that Shaktis along with that. That was the maximum idea with which Mahishasura came for the fight. So in the fight, as we have noted down in the second chapter, almost all the Sena Mahasuras, Senadhipatis, he had large number of Senadhipatis also, and all of them were killed. Then Mahishasura could not stand that, so he came to the battleground. He came to the battleground. He started shooting arrows and other weapons with Devi. And moreover, this Mahishasura fought with the Devi in different forms, sometimes human, sometimes bison, sometimes so, and also, so all these forms with which he was able to attack, Ammavaru was able to meet out. So you observe in the sloka number 60, Nirantaraha Saraughena Krutaha Kechid Dranajire Senanukaranaha Pranan Mamuchuhu Tejasardanaha. See, all those people who have killed, who are hurting the Tridashas, the gods, all of them were put down by Amavaru and her Sainyam. And how was that happening? The war Varnana is that some people lost their hands, shoulders, their neck, and their head, and so they are cut apart into two divisions. So in war is an accident only, and there is no way how the enemies are being killed both ways, and that is why the entire area was a bloodstream of so many Rakshasas being killed. And some Rakshasas in sloka number 63 we have noted, because we have covered all this in the previous session, but still I read once. Ekabahu Akshicharanaha 62 Kechid Devyadvidha Krutaha Chinnepi Chanye Sirasi Patitaha Punaruthitaha. So though they are all slit between, and they all got up again, and with that kabandhas and all that, they went on dancing, they went on attacking. So some other Mahasuras, they are afraid that Devi, being threatened by them, she will disappear from the, or go away from the battleground. So they were all shouting in 64 sloka, you see, Tishtha, Tishtha iti bhashantaha, Devi manye Mahasuraha. And so Anye Mahasuraha, the other Mahasuras, were asking Devi to stay on in the battleground, face them, and be killed by them. That was the target, and with which they were all shouting and rushing towards her. And again, Ammavaru was able to पातितैः रथनागाश्च असुरसुरैश्च वसुन्धरा अगम्या साभवत् तत्र यत्राभूत् समाहरणः. So the war between Durga Parameswari and the Rakshasas was not an ordinary battle. In fact, this battle could be compared, minimized way, that of the Rama Ravana Yuddha. So Rama Ravana, we have got Yuddha Varnanas very few places. But in Ramayana also we have got the war, Yuddha Kanda. A separate section is there where Valmiki Maharshi is able to give lot of technology, know-how, and a methodology, and also how it could be all executed in the war ground. We should imagine when Rama and Lakshmana befriended Sugriva, the Vanara king, he gave also to all the Vanara some kind of military tidbits training, that they will be able to face the Rakshasas, and they will not be able to run away looking at the Rakshasas onslaught. I mean, the force that the Rakshasas, the way the Rakshasas attend, all that, all monkeys were very powerful. Therefore, they were all fighting with all boldness. Yashova, Mrutyurva, as we have noted, whoever goes to battle, battle has no love. There is nothing like that. It is all fighting up to the last drop of the blood. And either if they win the war, they get the credit. If they lose the war, they get the kirti and Veera Swarga and all that. So that's why here the entire Bhumi, Yuddha Bhumi was Saunita Aughanga Mahanadya. So there were so many streams of blood, and he describes that Markandeya Maharshi, looking at that kind of entire war ground, there was but only blood, Mahanadya, and Tatra Prasusruhu. So there's a blood flowing out, all that. In fact, in modern art also, so there was a competition given to some painters by a king, asking the question was, the theme was, he was a very powerful, successful, victorious Maharaja. So he asked the painters, I give you 30 days time. You please bring me the war ground after my fighting with the enemies. How would be the war ground? So I want, and whoever brings the best one, I'm going to give them the reward and all that. So that was the type of test and kathavastu. So most of the painters, they struggled hard and brought the painting to the king at the end of the day. I mean, at the end of the period. Then one fellow never bothered at all. So, but he ultimately came before the king with the empty screen, and then just before him, he dropped a red color completely on the canvas. Then he was wondering, what is this? Sir, when you fought, Maharaja, when you fought, though hundreds and thousands of people were killed and all that, nobody was visible. Everybody was immersed in the blood flow, in the bloodstream there. So when you go to the war from a aerial view, it's completely blood. Therefore, I put the entire war ground with the blood or red color. So that is the what it is. That is the maximum that a war ground could look when the fight was taken place. So here, agamya sa bhavat tatra. Agamya means it was not possible for anybody to wade through the war ground because there are so many dead bodies cut on the world. That's why agamya. So, and maharana, in such a fierce battle, it is not easy to wade through or to go to the enemies and fighting all these things. But still, the warriors are so bold as to uh, wade through all that or go through all that and then see that, meet the enemies and all that. So, Mahanadhyaha Sonita Auga. Auga means Samuha. So, there was a blood and all that. Now, from here, we have to read and conclude today the Madhyama Charitam, the second chapter, a portion of the Rakshasa, a portion of the war between Mahishasura Sainyam and Mahishasura and Devi. Kshanena, see, Kshanena Tanmaha Sainyam Asuranam Tathambika Ninye Kshayam Yatha Vanhi Trunadaru Mahachayam. You see, even Puranas are examples of poetry, but not of the high standard. See, Muni Pranitani, Muni Pranitani, Puranani, na kavyasya udaharanani ಅಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ rhetorician ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂತಾನೆ. Actually, they cannot be a standard example for Mahakavya because Kavya definition is different and requirements or characteristics and requirements are different. But still, Kavina Krutam Kavyam, anything that has been written down, composed, is by a poet who is a poet who has got wonderful imagination, alochana shakti, and also the vision. ಅಂಥವರು ಕವಿಗಳಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ನಾನು ಋಷಿ ಕುರುತೆ ಕಾವ್ಯಂ. ಒಂದು ಕಾವ್ಯವನ್ನು ಬರೆಯಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಋಷಿ ಅಂಶ ಅವನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅನ್ಲೆಸ್ he is a ಋಷಿ, he cannot compose anything. And again, na Vishnu Prithvipati anta. Unless Vishnu amsha or influence is there, one cannot become the lord of the land or rule the land. So like that, we have the divine grace always operate indirectly upon the beings born on land. So ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೋ they're all exclusively different. There cannot be a second person of that order because the intelligence is always independent and individualistic. There cannot be any kind of common intelligence because it all depends upon the Saraswati Kataksha and Dakshinamurti Anugraha, and that we are able to show forth our intelligence and keep on. That's why we are all jivas with intelligence, buddhi. Sarvabhuteshu, even Markandeya Maharshi himself said in the earlier chapter that sarvasya jantoho buddhirasti anta. So ಪ್ರಪಂಚದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಜಂತುಗೆ, even the ant also has got, but the intelligence level will be different. The psychology people will be able to measure the levels of intelligence. And they have got a project also. Some time back, when we were students in the university, PhD, so some psychology lab people came. They wanted to make a study of the intelligence level of the IQ of the research students of Pune University. So, I mean, it's also a point of study. Here also, unless there is buddhi, nobody will be able to do it. So Ammavar, what she did is, and Mahasainyam Asuranam Ambika Chanena Ninayam Chanena Ninye. She just converted and she just finished the entire Asura Sainyam in no time. And afterwards, she made a lot of sound. Not only that, Mahanadam Usrujan Dhuta Kesaraha. So even the lion also added to the sound that Ammavaru produced. Therefore, the entire Yuddha Bhumi was filled with the Jayanada. That's why even today what we do is, whenever we do Durga Homam, people are all asked to shout, Jai Durga, Jai Durga, Jai Durga. Accordingly, when a Homa was done last in the month, so Amavaru came on a lion after Purnahuti with a banner in her hand saying that she is victorious. So here you observe Ninye Chayam Yatha Vanni Trunudaru Mahachayam. Daru is wood. Truna is the grass. So grass and daru, they are the extremes. Grass is the A and daru is the Z. Abala Gopalam is that. And it's like that we have got to coverage for small and to big people. So just Agni, no matter whether it is a blade of grass or it is a big tree, he will burn them, reduce to ashes. Therefore, like Agni, bringing down all that into Bhasma, Ammavaru also tried to kill all those Asura Sainyam and made it almost empty. Then, Sarirebhyo Amararinam Suniva Vichanvati Devya Ganaischat Drastatra Krutam Yuddham Tathasurai Yathaisham Tutushu Devaha Pushpa Vrishti Mucho Divi. So, Amararinam Asuniva Vichinvati Devya Ganaischatastatra. See, for example, Sachasimho Mahanadam Usrujatu Dutakesara Sarirebhyo Amararinam Asuniva Vichinvati. So there was a high sound and by the Simham and all that. And when it was doing that sound also, Swabhava. See, the nature for every being born is very important. Swabhavu Duratikramaha. So every man is a style, every man is a style, every being is a style or a fashion. Therefore, this lion, what do you do? Dhuta Kesaraha. You try to shake terribly with its mane and shouted and roared like anything, as though both Amma and also the lion, they are trying to search still living Rakshasas in the battleground, as though they are looking at the Asuniva. See, Amarari Nam. Amara is Devatas, Aris are Shatrus. So Asu is the Pranam. Asuniva. So as though they are Duchinvati, they are searching, and Devyaha Ganaischa Tatra Kritam Yuddham Tatasurahi. So all the other Shaktis that is Devagana, Shakti Gana, all these Shakti Ganas that came along with Durgamma to war ground, they were searching anyone still alive with pranam. So you observe the word as asuniva. Asu is a pranam. You remember we have the word for hospital in English. It's asu. Asu is the pranam. So Asupatri is the very familiar word where people all go for relief, cure, and all treatment and all that. When you think of this word in Sanskrit, Asu is the prana, Pa is to protect, Tri is the location. Asupatri means that is a building or a location where prana is being, or when arogyam gets diverted or disturbed, and the doctors are there, the machinery is there, equipment is there to put you back and come and discharge you to your house. Therefore, it's called Asu Patri. But here, when Shakti Gana is fighting, when they saw all people being killed, and still they are searching, because there's a blood river, they may be submerged, hiding inside the blood river, and afterwards they may pounce. Therefore, Sarirebhyo Amararinam Asu Nimachanvati, and Devyaha Ganais Krutam Yuddham Tathasurai. So when Devi, Mahadevi, Durga Parameswari, and also our Ganas are working terribly, then when they're all working so terribly, then gods were very happy because it is their work that has been done. It's a God's work. So all the gods felt very much happy, and they showered flowers upon the Devi and Devi Gana in celebration of the victory to some extent in the battleground by Durga Parameswari. So actually, whenever victory happens, we have to congratulate. We have to feel happy. That is the good culture. So now we have completed the second chapter of Madhyama Charitam, and I'm just reading the colophon. Om Sri Markandeya Purane Savarnike Manvantare Devi Mahatmye Mahishasura Sainyavadho Nama Vitiyo Adhyayah Uvacha Mantraha Sloka Mantraha Evam Evamaditaha. We have got the numbers given. So, Sarvam Sri Durga Parameswari Padaravindarpanamastu Sarvesham Swasti Astu Sumangalani Bhavantu. Now we go to the third chapter where Amma is a different aspect, because we have chapter Dhyanam. In each chapter, you have to make a meditation upon the Swarupam of Devi, how she is able to conduct herself in that respective war with the different Rakshasas. So the Adhyayana of Parameswari is also important. In fact, I hope you have seen, all of you, in the Veda Ganga volume 29. All of you must have got it. If not, you can collect one from our Surendra Pujar, our Atra, Vasanatra. And then there was the 13 slokas, Dhyana slokas, just Dhyana slokas printed for a ready reckoner, as a ready reckoner, and so that you merely doing the Parayanam of the 13 slokas per day, that itself is a Parayanam of the entire Durga Saptasati. Because these days, all people are oppressed by the time value, and you have no time, especially the software people, others. They are many people, even the children also have no time to divert themselves, because they are fond of the mobile or iPad, apart from their homework load that is being given. But however, if anybody were to by heart, not simply by heart, all the 13 slokas, that's for convenience, it is highly useful and spiritual at all. It is, because we'll come to note that In fact, I requested one of the students in America who attended my Durga Saptasati classes more than 3 years, every weekly one class like that. I just urged her to prepare 13 slokas at a stretch and then give us, and that we have printed in Veda Ganga. Please look at that volume 29. Now we have the third chapter. Mama upatta samasta durita. ಗೀತಾ ಅವರೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಮಮ ಉಪಾತ್ತ ಸಮಸ್ತ ಸಮಸ್ತ
ಸಮಸ್ತ
ದುರಿತ ದುರಿತ
ದುರಿತ ದುರಿತ
ಕ್ಷಯದ್ವಾರ
ಕ್ಷಯದ್ವಾರ
ಶ್ರೀ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ ಪ್ರೀತ್ಯರ್ಥಂ
ಶ್ರೀ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ ಪ್ರೀತ್ಯರ್ಥಂ
ಶ್ರೀ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರಿ ಪ್ರೀತ್ಯರ್ಥಂ
ಶ್ರೀ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರಿ ಪ್ರೀತ್ಯರ್ಥಂ
ಸಮಸ್ತ ಸನ್ಮಂಗಳ ಅವಾಪ್ತ್ಯರ್ಥಂ ದುರ್ಗಾ ಸಪ್ತಶತ್ಯಾಂ ತೃತೀಯ ಅಧ್ಯಾಯ ಪಾರಾಯಣ ಅಧ್ಯಯನಂ ಚ ಕರಿಷ್ಯಾಮಃ ಧ್ಯಾನಂ ಓಂ ಉದ್ಯದ್ಭಾನುಸಹಸ್ರ ಕಾಂತಿಮರುಣಕ್ಷೌಮಾಂ ಶಿರೋಮಾಲಿಕಾಂ ರಕ್ತಾಲಿಪ್ತಪಯೋಧರಾಂ ಜಪವಟೀಂ ವಿದ್ಯಾಂ ಅಭೀತಿಂ ವರಂ ಹಸ್ತಾಬ್ಜೈಃ ದಧತೀಂ ತ್ರಿನೇತ್ರವಿಲಸತೋ ವಕ್ತಾರವಿಂದಶ್ರಿಯಂ ದೇವೀಂ ಬದ್ಧಹಿಮಾಂಶುರತ್ನ ವಂದೇ ಅರವಿಂದಸ್ಥಿತಾಂ ಓಂ ಋಷಿರುವಾಚ ನಿಹನ್ಯಮಾನಂ ತತ್ಸೈನ್ಯಂ ಅವಲೋಕ್ಯ ಮಹಾಸುರಃ ಸೇನಾನಿ ಚಿಕ್ಷುರಃ ಕೋಪಾದ್ಯಯೌ ಯೋದ್ಧುಮಥಾಂಬಿಕಾಂ ಸ ದೇವೀಂ ಶರವರ್ಷೇಣ ವವರ್ಷ ಸಮರೇ ಸುರಃ ಯಥಾ ಮೇರುಗಿರೇಃ ಶೃಂಗಂ ತೋಯವರ್ಷೇಣ ತೋಯದಃ Tasya chitva tato devi.
Tasya chitva tato devi. Tasya chitva tato devi.
Leelayaiva
Leelayaiva. Leelayaiva.
Sharotkaran
Sharotkaran. Sharotkaran.
Jaghana Turagan Banaihi
Jagana Turagan Banaihi. Jagana Turagan Banaihi.
Yantaram Chaiva Vajinam.
Antaram Chaiva Vajinam. Antaram Chaiva Vajinam.
So this is the section where actually the war begins between Mahishasura, his Sainyam, and to begin with, we have the Chikshupa Mahasura who has come to fight with her at the outset. And let us note how does this Mahadevi, Durga Parameswari appear in this particular section. She is a Aravindastitam Vande. We have to prostrate, salute Mahadevi, yet yet sitting upon the Aravinda, the lotus. And how does she look like? She's looking like Ujjadbhanu Sahasra Kanti Ar Kantim. She has got so much brilliance in her, just like that of the thousand suns at a time simultaneously getting up. What kind of brilliance and sunshine and radiance and heat, etc., will be there? With that, Amavaru was there because she's a terrible, because Agni Sambhava, Durga Parameswari, Durga, Draupadi, they're all people who came out from the fire. So even Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrughna, they are all out from the payasam given by the Agni Deva in the Putrakameshti Yaga. So to say, they are basically the source of powerful energy, and they are all like Agni only, because Agni is indefeatable. Nobody can defeat Agni at all. So that kind of Agni is that Swarupam. But she is having Arunat Shaumam, Shiro Malikam. She has the Aruna Varna sari wearing. Shauma means dress. So she was wearing the Aruna Varna. Aruna is love. Aruna is red. And Shiro Malikam. She was wearing a lot of and Rekta Lipta Payodharam, because she is fighting in the war. The blood of all the Rakshasas was being shot up to the chest area of that Devi, and that means it's very the mantras are highly symbolic. So all this so Rakta means there are two meanings. Rakta Lipta Payodharam. Rakta means love. Rakta means the blood, redness. So Payodhara means the heart. That is, in heart of hearts, she is very, very kind, lovable, affectionate, even for the enemies. So symbolically, we have so many meanings to extract out of this Rakta Lipta Payodharam. And moreover, Japavatim Vidyam. See, she is the very embodiment of Vidya. Vidya means Adhyatma Vidya, Sadvidya, and also Vidya by itself. So there's so many meanings for that. All that Vidya you are able to acquire through repetition, practice. Abhyasena ta kaunteya tatha vairagyena cha gukhyate Vidya. See, Manassu Grukhyate is one aspect. When mind is focusing, naturally, whatever we study, whatever we do, it would be a matter of great success. Therefore, Japavatim and Vidyam, and what is that Durga Parameswari will grant us of all said and done. ನಮ್ಗೇನು ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅಭೀತಿಂ ವರಂ. ದಿ ವರಂ is the boon. The boon or blessing that she would give us is abhiti. Bhiti is the fear. Abhiti is fearlessness. What is fear? Disease is a fear. Death is a fear. And so accident is a fear. Everything is there because sarvam vastu bhayanvitam vairagyameva bhayam. That Bhartruhari said, everything in the world is tagged with the fear. For example, Bhartruhari says, vitte nrupalad bhayam, rupe jara bhayam, so then ಭೋಗೆ ರೋಗ ಭಯಂ ಎಟ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ರೋಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಭಯ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ, ವೆಲ್ತ್, income tax people, government will confiscate it. Vitteen Rupalad Bhayam. And when you think that you are highly handsome and very beautiful, exquisitely beautiful, you are the visiting queen or visiting king, etc. But Jara Bhayam, the old age comes and vikaras will take place in the body. So, but what is important is Vairagyameva Bhayam. Even when you have got that kind of overcoming all these things. So the Vairagyameva Bhayam means moksha. Because every janma is eligible to get moksham. But when we are not visualizing that janma, then we will not be able to get. Just abhiti is the moksham. So abhitim varam, she will bless you immortality, and that is what is Mahalakshmi Swarupam. Because we want to worship Devi, that we can get relief from these janmas. See, dukkha, janma dukkham, jara dukkham, jaya dukkham, jara. So, yad dukkham dukkham evacha anta Shankaracharya ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. So, he tries to enlist the dukkhas. Actually, there are 12 dukkhas that we know, but we don't consider dukkha as a dukkha because we are all having that kind of bhranti, brahma, and only there. For example, when we stand before the mirror every day, every year, and we are all seeing how we are growing, how we are becoming older and older and older, but we are not sad. That's the whole thing. After looking in the looking glass, convincing yourself that you are okay, fit enough, go in the road or attend the function party, you go. But the secret is that every day, every time you are getting. That's why all that will not happen when you don't have a birth at all. Janmarahityam pradati abhitim, and it's a varam. Varam means best or the boon or what best you want in our among wants. The best want among wants is to be able to not to be born again, not to return to the earth, because the earth is full of dvandva. Two things are there: sukha, dukkha, sita, ushna, chali, gali, etc. So all these things are there. So dvandva titatvam is amaratvam. That's why astabjai dadatim trinetra vilasatu and vakraravinda striyam. So she is holding in her lotus hands the Varabudra and Abhayamudra. Then she is having that Trinetra, three-eyed goddess, and Vakraravindastriyam. So she has all the beauty in her lotus face. So to look at Ammavaru is simply great because she is Ujjat Bhanu Sahasra. In fact, even Lalita Sahasranam also, Ujjat Bhanu Sahasra Kiranam ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಲಲಿತಾ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರಿ, ದುರ್ಗಾ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರಿ, ಶ್ಯಾಮಲಾಂಬ, whoever are there, they bear highly radiant faces. The other day I have put Shyamalamba decorated with the tamalas and with the betel leaves. How beautiful she looks like. Only vigrahane, puja ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಂತಿ. Imagine if you were to see really Amavaru standing before you. In fact, probably Shivaji had that kind of fortune to got that Kali darshan and a sword being given to him. That he will fight for the war, in the war for the freedom of the country. And again, even Potana, a great Telugu poet, and when he was oppressed by the kings that the book Bhagavatam be dedicated to them and presented to them, he was refusing. And at one time, that goddess Saraswati appeared before him with the tears in her eyes. Then, looking at her, that Potana said, Amma, Katuka Kantiniru, Chanukattu Payan Paradera Nilanet Chedavo, Madambai. That slokam that is so classical that Amma, why are you shedding your tears on your Hridaya? No, I am not. I Karnata Karata Kichakala Kiyana Kamma. I am not going to dedicate and present this Bhagavatam, my Telugu Bhagavatam, into the hands of those kings. Karnata Karata Kichakala. So, note everything is divine, and the divine grace is there, and she will be able to show out all the divine grace and inspiration through her Aravinda Anana. Aravindasanam Sundarim and Devi Baddha Himamsu Ratnamakutam. So she has the Himamsu Ratnamakuta, that is, she is having the Mukuta, the Kiritam. Kirita Dhyana itself is great. We get so many benefits because if you just make dhyanam or japam of the kiritam. For example, in Saundarya Lahari, there is immediately after you have got the appreciation. Saundarya Lahari means 42, 43 slokas. So Shankaracharya starts making prayer, appreciation, and winning and requesting for the grace by describing the Kirita Varnana. And after Kiritam or the crown, underneath the Krinita, there is what that 43rd sloka, Kirita Varnana, 44th sloka, the Kesha Varnana, dark, thick hair, and in between there is that lining, dividing line, Simanta, and there is a beautiful description of those two. You should read 42 and 43 slokas. There you will understand how beautiful she looks, and Amastaka Padanta Varnanam for Devis, and for Devas, Pada Apada Mastakanta Varnanamanta. So that's how the Varnana Krama in poetry people follow it. So Baddha Himamsu Ratnamakutam Vande Aravinda Sthitam. Now the Rishi who was narrating the entire Durga Saptasati or Durga Mahima, requesting the Sumedha and Samadhi, a Vaisya and also a Kshatriya king, and a Vaisya rich merchant. They are the two people very important in the society. Kshatriya is to rule and protect people. Vaisya is to collect money, become rich, and then distribute the commodities to the people in society. So both are very important. But unfortunately, as we noted, that those were deprived of by their own relatives and robbed of their riches, and then they became vairagyam, came to this Rishi. And this Rishi, looking at the hearing to the like-minded sorrows for them, then he went on telling about Durga Parameswari. Now, next he continues in this Tritiya Adhyaya further about the battle, saying this, Tat Nihanyamanam Tat Sainyam Avalokya Mahasuraha Senani Chichuraha Kopat Yayoyodhum Atambikam. So he wanted to fight directly with the Devi, not with the Devi Gana. But so the Chichura is the name of the Senapati, is a Mahasura of in the Sainyam of Mahishasura. He looked at so many of his soldiers being killed by Ammavaru, and he was unable to stand that kind of fight, and so he became extremely angry, and he came to fight. And having come there in third sloka, Saha Devim Saravarshena Samare Asuraha Vavarsha. So, Samare in the battle. It is called Samara. Samara means Yuddham. What is the Samaram? Samanam Maranam ಯೇಷಾಂ ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಸರ್ವೇಷಾಂ ತತ್ ಸಮರಂ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಯುದ್ಧಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ ವೆದರ್ ಹಿ ಬಿ ಎ ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ಎ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ ಆರ್ ಎ chieftain or anybody, a Brahmin, a Kshatriya, anybody may be, but he is liable for killing. And when he is killed there is no dosham at all. For example, in Mahabharata war, you have seen Dronacharya, a Brahmin, being killed by Drupada, a Kshatriya. So, Drishtadyumna jumped into the chariot of the Drona, and when he was little fainted, having heard that his son Ashwathama was killed, uttered by Dharmaraja, when he became little unconscious, he jumped into the other chariot. He was waiting for an opportunity to finish Dronacharya. He was a chieftain, and he jumped and held the hair of Drona tight and then cut off the neck of that Dronacharya. That's how the Drona's end came up. He just gave a big hit to separate the head from the body. Then he was killed, Dronacharya. That became an important reason for Saswathama to do more atrocities and more killings. And he was ultimately robbed of the money that he has had on his crest by Krishna himself. See, Krishna is Vishnu Avatara, you know that. So there are two occasions when Vishnu was able to take away the Gnana Netram given to, or Gnana Mani given to Aswathama on one hand, and also that Bhrigu Maharshi. That pride was there in that Bhrigu Maharshi, in the put, you must have seen. So slowly was very cajoling and cajoling. Ultimately, he picked out the Gnana Netram from that Bhrigu Maharshi feet. So like that, we observe Samare means in the war, killing a Brahmin is no dosha. And everybody has got to die when they are fighting in the war ground. So he said, he just, Bavarsha means he rained number of arrows. How like? Meru Parvatada Male, Toyadaha means cloud, Moda. And Toya Varshena is water. So Meru Parvatada Mele, ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ ಪರ್ಜನ್ಯ ಹೇಗೆ ನೀರನ್ನು ಕುಡಿಸ ಆ ತರಹ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ ಕುಂಭವೃಷ್ಟಿ ತರಹ ಆ ಮೋಡಗಳು, ಅದೇನು ನಾಟ್ ಆರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್, ದೇ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್. ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾರ್ಡಿನರಿ ಕ್ಲೌಡ್ಸ್ ಆ ತರಹ ಇರುವಾಗ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೆನ್ ಶಿ ಟ್ರೈಡ್ ಟು ಪುಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ಡೌನ್. ತಸ್ಯ ಚಿತ್ವಾ ತಥೋ ದೇವಿ Leela eva sarotkaran. In fourth sloka, we have noted all those arrows, hundreds and thousands and millions of them, pouring down on the war ground. She was able to subdue all of them. And Leela eva, there was no strain on the part of Devi. It was a matter of sport. You know, the word Leela is a sport. ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟಿವ್ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷಲ್ಲಿ. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೆದರ್ ಯು ವಿನ್ ಆರ್ ಲೂಸ್, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಫರ್, ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಸಾರೋ. ವೆದರ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಿನ್, ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ವಿನ್, ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ. ದಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಈಕ್ವಿಪಾಯ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೋಗ. ಸಮತ್ವಂ ಯೋಗ ಉಚ್ಯತೆ ಅಂತ. ರನ್ನರ್ ಆಗಲಿ ವಿನ್ನರ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ನೋ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವೇ ಹಿಯರ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಸರವರ್ಷೆ. ಸೊ ಶ್ರೀ ಲೀಲಯೈವ ಶಿರೋತ್ಕರಾನ್. And not only that, Jaghana Turagan Banai, she went on killing the the horses. Not only the horses, but also the Yantaram Vajinam, also the riders of the respective horses. That's Aswasainyam. You know, in a war you have got Aswasainyam, Gajasainyam, Padadi Sainyam. So Chaturanga Baleswari, when you said that, Chaturanga Baleswari means 4 divisions of the armies, Sena will go and attack, and in a war ground. So she was able to put down that Ratha, that Ashwas, and Ashwa riders also, their Nathas, and that was one work. And she stopped the flow of the rain like of the arrows released by the Chichitshupu and all that. So you observe how the war is going on. And moreover, the arrows, so many arrows coming means it doesn't mean it's all called astra and shastra. See, shastra is weapon. Astra shastras means they're all siddhas. And one arrow will become multiplied into a large number of arrows. For example, Ravana, I mean, Karadushanas were 14,000 Karadushanas were killed by single-handedly by Rama in the battle. Means that he had all that Astra Shastra Vidya given by Vishwamitra Maharshi. And Vishwamitra is a classical Rishi who is not selfish at all. He became successful, he became victorious, and he made Rama and Lakshmana also to be as much as much great or successful as he is. Therefore, even when the Rama and Lakshmanas were boys, so Vishwamitra took them for education and gave them all that. Therefore, the Rama and Lakshmanas became armed enough to be able to fight with the terrible Rakshasa like Ravana and other Rakshasas. So here also, Devi directly with her troop fighting with that Rakshasa and Rakshasainyam. So this is a different aspect of the warfare that you will see that here Devi directly fighting. In Ramayana, directly Rama, Vishnu is fighting Rama and Lakshmana. And in Mahabharata, on the side of Pandavas, you have got Krishna. So Shiva Shakti, Krishna Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, both are there on the side of Pandavas. Vishnu Shakti is Anjaneya Swami. Krishna. And Shiva Shakti is Anjaneya Swami. So when both of them join together, wonderful. That's why even in Mahabharata, even in Ramayana, Rama and Anjaneya, both of them have fought well. And therefore, Shiva Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, both are important. And all the Shiva Shakti and Vishnu Shakti and every Shakti is there, Ammavaru. That's why everybody encourages to read Lalita Sahasranam because Sarva Shakti Samanvite. She is endowed or embodied with, emboxed with all sorts of energies, all sorts of Shaktis. And therefore, whatever kind of Shakti and Anugraha and Varam that you want in our daily life, we are getting the good scope. So when we make Aradhana of this Devi Aradhana is that Vishnu. That's why Vishnu Sahasranama and Lalita Sahasranama both are Rahasya Namavalis. But still they are made published by Vishnu. That is, Bhishma is a Vishnu himself. Because Ashtavasus, the Ashtama Vasu is Bhishma. And Krishna, Dhyana, Krishna is there. So thereby, Vishnu Sahasranama and Lalita Sahasranama great. And in the same manner, here Durga Saptasati also is very great among all Saptasati Pathas. Now we have got another Bhagavat Saptasati compiled by my Guru, Madhav Subramanian Shastri. That book also I distributed to many. It is still available in our website. You can make use of the Bhagavad Saptasati. In fact, somebody took to Udupi Krishna temple. Somebody came and he took it. They want to make it as a Parayanam on all Ekadasi days. So to say, we cannot recite all the 18,000 slokas. Similarly, here also, we can't recite all the entire Markandeya Purana. So this is a wonderful sampling that we could do, that because Markandeya Maharshi is a Chiranjeevi and he's a Mahadevi Deva Bhakta, and from his note we are getting this kind of books. I think we'll continue this third chapter in the next session. Now we always invoke the Anugraha and Varam from Devi that we should be able to be happy and healthier. Thank you. And now please, Om Swasti.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahabhijyankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastama Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सतं सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु श्रीवासुदेवार्पणमस्तु श्रीवेदपुरुषाशीर्वादोऽस्तु ॐ श्रीमातृचरणारविन्दार्पणमस्तु ॐ तत्सत् हरि ओं
Thank
नमस्ते
you, sir. Thank you, sir.